The Nuggets followed up saying that he had surgery to repair multiple ligament tears. I'm assuming those are the breaks that Russ has talked about in his post.
No. He's talking about his fractured his bone. Ligaments is different
So
from bone.
he probably fractured one or two metacarpals
Yeah.
of some sort.
You guys don't know that's this.
Yeah. And your foot's version's the metatarsal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Pretty good with your anatomy.
Thanks.
They said he's expected to resume full offseason training in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think, I just have a question for you specifically. Do you think this means he's going to opt into his contract with the Nuggets?
I would think so.
I think so. Because, why would you leave Jokic?
Well, I mean, not necessarily that. I feel like Russ played well enough where he can get the full taxpayer MLE from a different team.
He could.
But I think now that you've had the surgery, especially when it's your dominant shooting hand, you're not that great of a shooter to begin with. I feel like you need the security of the contract. Just like, remember when Chris Middleton had the knee, I don't know if he had surgery, but he had the knee problems and he opted in with the Bucks rather than, he could have gotten a contract anywhere, but you just need that security of the money that's on the table already guaranteed.
Right.
And that's where I think he might decide to do the same thing.
I don't think it's that. I think Russ can go anywhere, I feel like.
He's a plug and play guy, yeah.
Right. He can go anywhere, and I feel like any team would be willing to pay him what the Nuggets are paying him and even more because he had a really good season this year.
Yeah.
So I think his reason for staying, if he stays, would be simply because of Jokic. Yeah. Why would you want to leave a team that has Jokic? Like, at this point in Russ's career, he needs a really good big to play with. And
also,
where are you going to find that? That's the Nuggets.
You go first.
It's also like Russ could opt in, but the new GM could want to move him.
Right.
We don't know. Adelman could want him to stay, and that'd be great because then Adelman could work with the GM and say, hey, Russ needs to stay. And the GM would be like, all right, I believe in you. Like, Russ was good when you played, guys played when you took over. Like, let's see what happens.
I mean, look, my counterpoint to that would be the Nuggets seem a lot disjointed front office wise. So, like SGA said, he's trying to get you back here.
Yeah.
I feel like there's better situations for Russ to win a championship. Obviously, if OKC wins a championship, they're likely not going to repeat. So it's also probably not the right thing to do. But like if OKC, let's say they lose to Indiana or the Knicks, God, I hope not. But let's say that does happen. It wouldn't hurt to just, give him $10 million a year.
Right.
I think he's earned it.
Yeah, he
Especially playing through a broken hand and multiple torn ligaments. Salute to Brody, man.
No, seriously.
That guy is a trooper. He is a warrior, even though he's on the Nuggets. But it's always funny when they call people a warrior.
Yeah, because
Warriors fans would be like, it's like the meme where he's like pointing at the TV.
Yeah, listen, comparing to the guys that got Emily, D'Anthony Melton signed a 1-year deal for $11 million. He only played like 10 games, and he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
So like Russ played a lot more than D'Anthony Melton did.
Well, D'Anthony Melton had a really good contract here because he's your prototypical 3-and-D wing.
He's a good player.
Where he's a little bit shorter than that, but he's a very good defender, and he can shoot the 3-ball.
Yeah.
But what I was going to tell you earlier, but I wanted to save it for the show. In 2023, in the first round, remember when Tyler Hero broke his hand? And he somehow managed to stay in the game for those 2 possessions, and he almost hit that 3. That was what that reminded me of. That takes guts, man, because that's like painful. I cannot I'll bump my hand on something and I'll be in agony.
Yeah,
I can't imagine breaking the damn thing.
Breaking 2.
Also, Russ and Denver didn't specify what time in the season it was broken. We don't know if it was right in the beginning.
Yeah, we don't even know.
I mean, you could look back. You could look back on the NBA's YouTube channel. Look back at the old highlights and just see his hand. I mean, it's pretty noticeable. The tape's on there.
Yeah,
you could probably look back as far as like January.
Yeah, I just want to bring up this though, because all we know is that he definitely injured his hand during that. He didn't injure it during the first round series, but he was injured during the first round series.
He hurt his ankle.
And hurt his ankle as well. And I wanted to bring up how well he played in that first round series. I don't think the Nuggets win without Russell Westbrook in that series. I don't think they win. He was averaging 19 points a game during that series. He was averaging like 3 steals a game during that series. He was playing out of his mind. Okay, let's not forget that. And with that broken hand, he was shooting 40-something% from 3.
Yeah.
So what is that? Is Russ a better shooter with a broken hand? Is that what this is telling us? Or
honestly, if he is, that's kind of sad. But like, I certainly would hope not. You want him to be good when healthy.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I think now is the perfect time for this to happen. We saw De'Aaron Fox get the surgery on his thumb. I think it's been bugging him for years, I think, for a long time. And hopefully this can shore up a lot of question marks about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
With that hand fully healed, maybe he does shoot a consistent 40% from 3. He probably won't.
Maybe not, but maybe.
Honestly, if you can get 35 out of Russell Westbrook, I would be so happy with that.
Listen, all you need is someone to step up and actually be willing to guard him close. And then once that happens, it's game over because he blows past any guy that steps up on him. You know what I mean? So that's all you just, if you're Russell Westbrook, you just have to get people to honor your jump shot. Once they start to honor your jump shot, it's over. For the league, even at this age that he's at, it's over.
No more
for the league.
No more packed out Staples Center saying, "Don't shoot."
Exactly.
Don't shoot.
Exactly. So all he has to do is get people to honor his jump shot. Maybe that's what he's going to do.
Hopefully.
He's going to get the surgery. He's going to get the rehab. During the rehab, maybe he'll get some shots up, fix his form maybe a little bit if he needs to, and hopefully, crisp up that jump shot, get it back to where it was when he was a little younger. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Right now,
I'm excited.
Right now, his jump shot's looking a little bit like tap water. We need to get that to Sprite. We need to get that to the crispy, fizzy levels of ethical hoops. Because Russ for like, I wouldn't call him an ethical hooper, but he does get to the line a lot more than the Nuggets roster did. Yeah. So when the Nuggets free throw percentages went up, or at least the attempts wise went up, like volume, he was a humongous part of it. Just like when Jimmy went to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Because Steph Curry and Nikola Jokic, as far as superstars go, they have the worst whistles I've ever seen.
I wouldn't say that. Nikola, he was getting a lot of whistles this postseason. Well, but historically, no.
Historically, no, because now he's getting triple and quadruple. And they literally there was one possession against OKC. They had all 5 guys on him. Yeah. Because on the outside, you had a Michael Porter Jr. shooting like 20% from 3. You had Russell Westbrook with a broken hand. You had Peyton Watson, who's just not a good 3-point shooter. And then whoever the 5th guy was, maybe
Chris
he was
Brown or something.
I don't remember who was on the floor at that time, but it could have been Brown. It could have been Gordon. Yeah. Well, Gordon's a different story. He's an anomaly. But, the Nuggets don't have that 3-point specialist anymore. Yeah. And even guys that could shoot the 3 well, like KCP and Bruce Brown, not on the team anymore. So that's kind of the main problem with the Nuggets. And, we'll see what happens with Russ moving forward. Do you have any early insight prediction? Let's say he doesn't stay in Denver. Where do you think he'll go?
OKC.
What if they win a championship, though? Okay, he's a very 50-50 option right now.
I think that would be so cool if he went back to OKC. Yeah. But I don't think it's likely. I think what's more likely is what we've been hearing already, which is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, see it.
I mean,
it's a possibility.
I could see if he wants to start in Dallas, no Kyrie for a whole year.
Maybe. It really depends on what they want to do. Because I'm not too sure.
That would be cool. Like Russ and Cooper Flag.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reports about Russ and CP3. Like, CP3 might go to Portland to mentor Scoot.
Oh, gosh.
I think Russ could also mentor him if CP3 doesn't
go there. I hope because Anthony could get moved. We know this already.
Well, not even still. Like, Scoot is for the future. I think Russ would be a great mentor to Scoot Henderson.
Russ would be, but I think Russ wants to win.
He does, yeah.
CP kind of like lost hope.
Then why does Russ
didn't lose hope?
Then why does Russ want to go to the Nets? I'm a Nets fan saying this. As much as I would love to win, we stink.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he want to? I don't think he wants to.
I don't think he wants to.
I think he's going to stay in Denver. I
think so
opinion.
too. I think he might wind up getting traded at the deadline. Yeah. But I think I think opening night you'll see him in Denver, likely on rig night against the Thunder. Yeah. Which would kind of suck.
It would.
But, is what it is.
Yeah, it would.
But, we send our best well wishes out to Russell Westbrook and his family and everything of that nature. And hopefully, he bounces back and
even better.
Yeah.
There's a chance this is the best we'll see of Russ since 2019?
Yeah. Been a while.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, that year with the Wizards, he was good. Yeah.
He was insane.
He was.
Yeah. Average a triple-double. I don't know if you remember, but yes.
He did, yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't the best player on the team, though. But he doesn't need to be.
Debatable.
Then Bradley Beal was like 0.1 from winning the scoring title that year.
Yeah, he almost won the scoring title, but Russ averaged, I think, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, and 22 points.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And it's even cooler now that Russ is a teammate that just averaged 29.7, 10, and 11.
Right.
So, pretty cool.
It's the Russ effect.